I've been studying for over 20 years. I thought if I could bring something new to it, I'm going to bring it forward. And if it could get me on the Cavuto show at 4, this would be my ticket.
All right, Brian Kilmeade, thank you very much. We have Shep Smith now with some breaking news. Shep. Oh, I apologize. We have just learned, I apologize at this moment and this juncture, to say that Nelson Mandela has died. Again, Nelson Mandela, who has been ill for some time, they are making a formal announcement in South Africa. Let's cut into that.
A father. Although we knew that this day would come, his humility, his compassion, and his humanity, and him their love. Our thoughts and prayers are with the Mandela family. To them we owe a debt of gratitude. They have sacrificed much and endured much so that our people could be free. Our thoughts are with his wife, Mrs. Graça Machel, his former wife, Miss Winnie Madikizela Mandela, with his children, his grandchildren, his great-grandchildren, and the entire family. Our thoughts are with his friends, comrades, and colleagues who fought alongside Madiba over the cause of a lifetime of struggle. Our thoughts who today mourn the loss of the one person who, more than any other, came to embody their sense of a common nationhood. Our thoughts are with the millions of people across the world who embraced Madiba as their own and who saw his cause as their cause. This is the moment of our deepest sorrow. Our nation has lost its greatest son. Yet, what made Nelson Mandela great was precisely what made him human. We saw in him what we seek in ourselves. And in him, we saw so much of ourselves. Fellow South Africans, Nelson Mandela brought us together, and it is together that we will bid him farewell. Our beloved Madiba will be accorded a state funeral. I have ordered that all flags of the Republic of South Africa be lowered to half-mast from tomorrow, 6 December, and to remain at half-mast until after the funeral. As we gather to pay our last respects, let us conduct ourselves with the dignity and respect that Madiba personified. Let us be mindful of his wishes and the wishes of his family. as we gather wherever we are in the country and wherever we are in the world, let us recall the values for which Madiba fought. Let us reaffirm his vision of a society in which none is exploited, oppressed, or dispossessed by another. Let us commit ourselves to strive together, sparing neither strength nor courage, to build a united, non-racial, non-sexist, democratic, and prosperous South Africa. Let us express, each in our own way, the deep gratitude we feel for a life spent in service of the people of this country and in the cause of humanity. That is indeed the moment of our deepest sorrow. Yet, it must also be the moment of our greatest determination. A determination to live as Madiba has lived, to strive as he has strived, and to not rest until we have realized his vision of a truly united South Africa, a peaceful and prosperous Africa, and a better world. We will always love you, Madiba. May your soul rest in peace. God bless Africa. Nkosi sikelele Africa. I thank you.
African president announcing that Nelson Mandela has died. He was 95 years old. We got word as early as this morning from sources inside his family that he had been on his deathbed. Of course, Nelson Mandela had been in and out of the hospital since June when he was admitted for something like an 86-day stay, the longest since he was released from prison. And each day the word was Nelson Mandela is critical but stable. And then this morning his daughter informed the world that she was with him at his deathbed. And she said even on this day as he lay dying before them, she was learning from him that he was such an inspiration for her and has been such an inspiration for the world. After a long struggle, Nelson Mandela is dead now at the age of 95.
There are few figures of the last 50 years as revered worldwide as Nelson Mandela, a man once condemned by his own government as a criminal and a terrorist, a man who considered that government illegitimate and whose actions would decades later change not just that government in South Africa, but the nation itself. When Nelson Mandela walked free from prison on February the 11th, 1990, he knew, as did the rest of the world, that white domination in South Africa was about to end. Mandela had fought apartheid since its introduction in South Africa in 1948, campaigning peacefully at first, then advocating and taking part in violent resistance. In 1964, Mandela was sentenced to life with hard labour and sent to the notorious Robben Island prison. Worldwide protests against the apartheid